Welcome to BookPods. Today we're taking a deep dive into a book that honestly really flips the script on what it means to close a deal. It's April Dunford's Sales Pitch: How to Craft a Story to Stand Out and Win.
Yeah, it's a fantastic choice. Dunford comes from this deep background in B2B software sales. SaaS, software as a service. And her perspective, well, it goes way beyond just sales teams, really. So our mission today, I guess, is to pull out the key insights from her work, give you a shortcut to understanding this pretty revolutionary idea.
Which is?
That the real art of selling, maybe, lies in helping customers buy.
Right. Helping them buy. That's the core of it. It just completely reframes the whole sales process, doesn't it? Turns it from this, like, pushy game into more of a journey. Guidance, trust.
Totally. And she kicks off the book with this really direct question. Do you sell or do you help customers buy? Sounds simple, but I mean, the implications are huge for how you approach, well, everything.
And what's really interesting is that this help mindset, it's not just, the nice thing to do for the customer.
Exactly. It's actually transformative for the business.
Yeah.
It really highlights something critical that often gets missed.
Which is?
That buying, the process of buying, is often way, way harder than most salespeople think.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. And listeners, you should get ready for some surprising insights today. We're actually going to talk about why buying a toilet is, weirdly, a perfect metaphor for complicated B2B purchases.
It really is.
And how just shifting your view can save you or your customer from getting totally stuck. Decision paralysis, So usually we think selling is the big hurdle, right? Persuasion, negotiation, all that. But April Dunford comes along and says, hang on, for businesses, buying is often the really tough part.
It's a complete flip.
Yeah.
Most sales folks think their job is the hard one. But Dunford points out, look, most business purchases aren't like buying ice cream. They're what she calls considered purchases.
Considered purchases. Okay, what does that mean exactly? It's a good term.
Yeah, it just means they're significant investments. Things like buying a new roof for your factory, or choosing software for a whole dental practice, or maybe some complex business tech.
Right. Big stuff, high stakes.
Definitely high stakes.
Yeah.
These decisions affect how a company runs for, years maybe. And the thing is, change, even good change, can feel really unsettling. It creates anxiety.
And this is where her toilet story comes in. It's brilliant, actually. She needed a new toilet. Sounds simple enough.
You'd think.
But she goes into the store and bam, hundreds, maybe thousands of options. They all look kind of the same. And she's hit with all this jargon, trapways, flappers, MAP scores for solid waste. What even is that?
Right. Stuff that means nothing to the average person just trying to buy a toilet.
Exactly. So she feels totally overwhelmed, frustrated, almost gives up, and decides to just keep her old, perfectly fine toilet. That feeling of being uneducated and stuck. I think we've all been there with something.
It's such a perfect illustration of buyer overwhelm. Now, scale that up to a business context. The stakes get way higher. Imagine a VP of finance tells Joey, the controller, find us new accounting software.
Oh, poor Joey indeed.
Right. Joey uses accounting software, sure, but he's not an expert on the market or implementation.
Suddenly he's drowning. So many options, features, and this paralyzing fear of messing up. What if the boss hates it? What if the team rebels? What if it fails an audit?
The personal risk for Joey is massive. His reputation, maybe even his promotion or job security, feels like it's on the line.
And that fear, that overwhelm, it leads right into one of Dunford's biggest points, doesn't it?
It really does. For so many of these considered purchases, your number one competitor isn't another company.
It's
doing nothing, just sticking with what you've got, the status quo. And the data backs this up. Something like 40 to 60% of B2B buying processes just end. No decision made.
Wow, 40 to 60%. That's huge.
It is. Because doing nothing feels safer than making a bad choice that could blow up in your face, even if the current situation isn't great.
So for Joey, sticking with the annoying old software is the safe play. That changes everything about how you should approach selling, right? And this is exactly why, Dunford argues, a lot of the standard sales pitches just fall flat. They don't account for this do-nothing competitor. She talks about 4 common types that often miss the mark.
Yeah, they tend to ignore how the buyer's really thinking, what they're actually weighing up internally.
Okay, let's break those down. First one, the product walkthrough, or as you called it,
the feature dump, or the wind tunnel of features. Yeah.
Right, we've all sat through that. Just feature after feature after feature.
It's totally overwhelming. Like trying to explain a symphony by just listing every single note. It's all the product does, but zero context on why it should matter to that specific buyer makes it possible to see the real value.
Okay, next, the problem solution pitch. That sounds like it should work, right? You have a problem, I have a solution.
You'd think so. But the issue Dunford raises is that competitors often define the problem too generically. Everyone's solving the same problem. What's missing is the unique insight, that aha moment that really differentiates your specific approach and makes your solution the obvious fit for their nuanced version of the problem.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. Like instead of just saying, we solve slow sales onboarding, a unique insight might be most companies focus on training content, but they miss that the real bottleneck isn't knowledge, it's the measurement gap. They can't see what training actually impacts quota attainment. See? That reframes the whole thing.
Got it. That's much sharper. Okay, third type, the vision narrative.
Yeah. This one's great for, say, pitching investors. Big ideas, future possibilities, transformation.
But for a regular buyer.
It can feel too abstract, too disconnected from their immediate tangible problems today. They need a solution for now, not just a dream for tomorrow.
Makes sense. And the last one, the hero's journey. Powerful storytelling tool, obviously.
Absolutely. But in a sales pitch, Dunford argues it can kind of skip over the buyer's need to compare, weigh facts, make a rational choice. It focuses on the narrative arc, the triumph. But buyers often need a clear decision-making framework, something they can use to justify the purchase internally.
So the thread connecting all these misses is that they aren't really engaging with the buyer's actual decision process. They're talking at them, not with them.
Pretty much. They ignore the internal struggle, the alternatives being weighed, especially that big one, doing nothing.
Okay, so if those pitches are flawed, what's Dunford's answer? It sounds like it starts with changing your role.
Exactly. You stop being just a seller and become more like a guide, an educator, a trusted advisor. Think back to that toilet salesman who finally helped April. He didn't just list toilets. He simplified things, focused on quality, aesthetics, space, things that mattered to her. Buyers were actually desperate for that kind of help navigating the complexity.
I like that. It's about empowering them to make a good decision, not just pushing your product. And Dunford lays out this really clear two-phase structure for doing that. The first phase is huge, the setup phase, context before product.
Yep, and this is where most pitches go wrong, jumping straight to the product demo. Dunford says, hold on, lay the groundwork first.
Okay, step one in the setup is insight. What's that really mean?
It means starting with a unique perspective, an aha moment about their market, their situation. Something that reframes their problem so your solution becomes the logical answer. It shows them something they hadn't seen or puts a name to a problem they only vaguely felt, like that marketing example. Maybe the insight isn't just DIY marketing is hard, but the real killer is chasing shiny objects instead of building a consistent foundation. That positions you as an expert right away.
Okay, so you deliver that insight, that new perspective. What comes next? This one surprised me a bit.
Step 2. Alternatives. You have to talk about them. Confidently, transparently.
Really? You talk about your competitors and doing nothing?
Yes. And also DIY, or maybe cheaper, less effective options.
Yeah.
I know it sounds counterintuitive.
It really does. Why would you point them towards other options?
Because they're thinking about them anyway. If you ignore the alternatives, you're fighting ghosts. By bringing them out into the open, you show incredible confidence and honesty. You're saying, look, we know you could do X, Y, or just stick with the status quo. We get it. Now let us show you why our approach is different and better suited to the outcome you want. It builds massive trust.
Okay, I'm starting to see it. That takes guts, but I can see how it builds credibility. So insight, then alternatives.
Well,
what's the last part of this setup?
Step 3 is perfect world. This is where you work with them to define what the ideal solution actually looks like for them. You get their agreement. What specific problem needs solving? What tangible improvements would they see? Like, for sales software, maybe the perfect world is finally being able to measure how onboarding impacts time to quota. Get them nodding along.
So you're co-creating this vision of success before you even really talk about your product in detail.
Precisely. You've set the stage perfectly. They understand the real problem through your insight. They see how you stack up against alternatives, and they've agreed on what success looks like.
And now we get to the follow-through phase, where your solution takes center stage.
Right. It's not a cold intro anymore. It's the natural next piece of the puzzle.
Now, step 4 is the actual introduction of your product. Keep it brief.
Yeah, concise. Just connect it directly to that perfect world you just defined. So to achieve that outcome we just talked about, we develop X. Hit the key points that resonate with the setup.
Then step 5, differentiated value. This is the why us part, right?
Exactly. Now you dig into the tangible benefits and unique capabilities that only you offer, tailored to their needs. Maybe it's your team approach versus a solo consultant. Maybe it's that unique data layer built on Salesforce that actually lets them measure performance unlike anyone else. It's the proof behind your unique insight.
And speaking of proof, that's step 6. Proof. Gotta back it up.
Absolutely critical. Case studies, testimonials, hard data, awards, whatever you've got. Numbers are powerful. Show them the results others have gotten. Reduced costs, increased sales, faster onboarding, tangible evidence.
Makes sense. Now, step 7 is interesting. Objections. You don't wait for them.
Nope. You bring them up proactively. Think about the common concerns. Price, implementation time, integration hassles. Address them head on. You might be wondering about the implementation timeline. By doing this, you build even more trust and turn potential roadblocks into chances to show you've thought it through. You defuse the bomb before it goes off.
That feels very much like being a true advisor. Okay, we're almost there. Step 8. The final ask.
After all that work, the ask should feel natural, logical. It needs to be super clear, relevant to where they are in their buying journey, and focused on enabling their next step. Maybe it's another meeting, a detailed proposal, a trial. But Dunford even says sometimes the right ask is to suggest they look elsewhere if you realize you aren't the perfect fit.
Wow, recommending they don't buy from you.
That's the ultimate sign you're truly acting as a trusted advisor, focused on their best outcome, not just your sale. It solidifies that trust like nothing else.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, the big message from April Dunford seems crystal clear.
Yeah, it's that the real skill, the real art, isn't just selling stuff. It's genuinely helping customers buy.
Shifting from pushing features to guiding them through that complex decision. Being an educator, a partner.
Right. It means having real insight, talking openly about alternative, defining success together, then showing your unique value with solid proof. And tackling those worries head on. It's all about building their confidence, taking away that fear of making the wrong choice.
And you know, this whole approach, it's not just for people with sales in their job title, is it?
Not at all. It's really a mindset for persuading, effectively, for helping anyone make a complex decision.
Makes you think. Maybe you, listening right now, have a decision you're facing, big or small, feeling overwhelmed by the options, afraid of messing up.
How could you apply this helping yourself buy idea? Like, really frame the problem with fresh insight. Lay out all the alternatives honestly, including doing nothing. Define what that perfect world outcome looks like for you. Then gather the proof to make a choice you feel genuinely confident about.
It's a powerful lens. It could really help navigate those tricky decisions with more clarity, more purpose. For yourself, and maybe even for others you're trying to guide, definitely something to chew on. Until next time, keep diving deep into what truly matters.